Hey everybody, so this is a new what if that I wanted to upload, and other YouTubers have done this. So guys, after this what if I am going to be dropping what if Deku was black part 4 or 3, and also will be dropping what if Deku had the Omnitrix part 8, and I'll also be uploading what if Deku, yeah, go in the comments guys, what if do you want me to, upload next, guys, because, I have a lot of what ifs that I have to keep up with that sometimes, I just ended them, because I just fall out of interest with them. So guys, go in the comments and ask me what type of what if, or what ifs that you guys, want me to continue, or redo. So let's get into it. So this what if Deku, if you already read the title, was cheated on slash, pretty much died. So Deku was basically, I guess you would call it, okay. So Deku was born relatively the same. Deku was born all the same. Deku's life was perfect. Like, it was exactly the same as canon. All up until about the fourth week into UA, Deku built up enough courage in this universe to ask Ochaku out on a date. Deku and Ochaku started dating and they became girlfriend and boyfriend. But when Deku got cheated on, it takes place about 2 days before the sports festival. So Deku, being Deku, was about to surprise Ochaku with a couple of flowers and chocolate, and walks in there. Deku walks in, his dorm, because Ochaku's in his dorm right now, because she likes to be in his dorm all the time. Deku opens the door and he sees Ochaku holding her mouth, trying not to moan too loud, and seeing, he's seeing a blonde, spiky-haired, tall guy under the sheets, and the sheets fall over, and he sees Bakugo and Ochaku, butterball naked on the bed. Deku's like pissed, but you know, Deku's a wuss. Sorry guys, I'm not gonna bitch up Deku. Deku does, start cussing out them, and pretty much everybody in the hall hears this and sees Deku, cussing the living shit, and pretty much roasting Bakugo, saying that he looks like a freaking chihuahua, and he should get out of here with his ash ketchup freaking hairline looking self. Pretty much just roasting both of them, saying that Ochako's a whore. Just straight up disking them and saying that they are nothing and they never will be nothing, and sprints and stomps off. Kirishima looks in there and he sees Bakugo over Ochaku and says, "Not manly at all, bro. Really?" And now in this universe, Deku will be with somebody else. But guys, go in the comments of who you think I should ship Deku with. So Chaku's out of the picture, and Momo is out of the picture. So guys, pick anybody else. So Deku pretty much sprints off, and sprinting into, the forest, pretty much yelling and punching trees left and right, hurting himself. Deku is yelling and yelling out, in frustration, but in a quick second, Deku was sprinting back into the forest left and right, but Deku doesn't notice that he's going up a cliffside in the forest, and Deku falls off of it. Deku's trying to use, one for all to try to push himself up into the air, but Deku's too late, and he's falling and falling and falling, and Deku hits the water where the cliff led to, and Deku breaks his neck on impact, or some of his bones, killing him. Deku starts drowning at the same time, pretty much just dying. Now, guys, in this universe, if a one-for-all user does die, automatically one-for-all transfers itself to the user that gave Deku, or gave the user that died its quirk if that person's still alive. So the quirk automatically transfers to All Might. All Might fills it in his presence and says, "What happened to Deku?" Now All Might already knows, about the whole entire one for all coming back to him if his one for all user ever died. And pretty much Deku was like gone for about 14 hours, and like it's nighttime, it's like pitch black. And pretty much Ochaku moves on really fast and starts spinning game or getting games spat at her by Bakugo. Pretty much they start dating because they just think, Deku's dead or something. And Ochaku pretty much just says that, oh, Deku isn't nothing. He was a wuss. I liked him, but like he was getting a little bit too tired. So Deku was pretty much just forgotten by Ochaku. Deku was about a ghost for those 15 minutes. But when Deku found out, Ochaku was, moving on really fast, Deku, got really angry and pissed. But in that short, flurry of rage, Deku felt a huge blast of energy through his body. Deku looked up and he saw a blue light. Out of nowhere, Deku was in a blue energy, like a bluish, darkish area. Deku looked around and he was confused. Out of nowhere, Deku gets tackled down to the ground by some sort of man that has blue hair and a blue beard and bright blue eyes. He says, "You're next. I'm sorry, kid," and pretty much puts his hand uh, on top of Deku's forehead, transferring whatever he had to Deku. Deku is transferred the power of pretty much in a turbo energy. Yep, guys, I'm doing it. I'm doing a max steel slash dying thing. So Deku's transferred God energy, or something like that. Deku's transferred God energy that can enhance his strength and physical status, and also give Deku the ability to control his energy in electricity, or into a form of blue flames, or a form of some sort of, electrical blue, black whip type of thing. And Deku can also use his super strength in a way that, he still gives off electricity when he uses his super strength, but it's blue now. And Deku's hair turns blue, like a greenish blue, a light, like an aqua color, and Deku's eyes turn glowing blue. Just like in the picture, Deku looks exactly like this, but exactly like, this in the picture. Deku looks exactly like this. So Deku pretty much wakes up in the water at the bottom of the lake where he fallen and died. Deku sees that it's glowing around his neck, where his neck snapped, and seeing it's glowing through his chest where his bones broke. Deku swims up to the surface, swimming up to one of the sides of the lake, getting out of the lake. Deku looks around, and he realizes it's a huge surge of power through him. Deku starts running off, but Deku runs way too fast and runs up the cliff, running incredibly fast, pretty much obliterating trees that are in front of him that he's running into. Deku's running so fast that pretty much to his calves down, his shoes and pieces of pants are just burned away. Deku's running so fast that he passes by the search team that's in the forest and goes straight to, UA, because the forest was connected to the, outside of UA. Deku ran over the gate of UA, or the fence of UA, falling into the district of UA. Deku, got knocked out because he fell on his head when he fell down. Now, Deku, since he came back, Deku's now immortal. Well, Deku wasn't, truly immortal. Deku can't be killed like the way he originally was. Meaning Deku can't be drowned, or he can't get killed by a bone break, or his neck getting snapped. So if Deku ever got, his neck snapped, or his skull cracked or bashed in, Deku can't die from that. He'll just come back in a green, bluish energy blast of energy. Deku also cannot be drowned, meaning that Deku can breathe underwater now. So Deku is kind of immortal. Deku also has, enhanced everything. Deku can run Deku can run at freaking flash levels of speed. Deku can also react to flash levels of speed. Deku also can use his energy enhancement strength just like One For All, but a lot more stronger and not hurting himself anymore. Deku can also use Black Whip, well, a version of Black Whip, but with green energy that electrocutes its enemies while Deku, uses it as a weapon. Deku can also summon about 50 of the Black Whip, pretty much tentacles from Deku's body, from his back, hands, head, any part of his body. Deku can also jump pretty much Hulk levels of pretty much air, and Deku also has a sort of regeneration. Deku has about he can regenerate from cuts or bullet shots or wounds, but if the bullet shot shoots Deku's vital organs or passes through Deku's vital organs, Deku, if he bleeds out, he's gonna die because he didn't die originally from bleeding out. Now Deku can regenerate from cuts or stab wounds, but not suffer, but not um regenerate limbs or anything like that. So Deku pretty much gets knocked out. Then he wakes up in the medical room where All Might's like right next to Deku and Inko's right next to Deku. All Might tells Deku that you should take it easy, and tells Inko if she can leave for a minute. Inko leaves, and All Might tells Deku about One for All and how it was transferred back to me after you disappeared. Deku said I died. All Might confused says, "What do you mean you died?" And the doctors found you with glowing blue eyes and some sort of different colored hair that was actually natural. They checked it. Deku, what happened to you? Deku says, I don't know for certain. Deku pretty much tells All Might what happened about the vision of the man grabbing Deku's head and pretty much transferring something to him. Pretty much over the course of the next day, then after the day they trained, figuring out Deku's all new abilities, the sports festival comes along. Deku basically trains over the 10 months, over the day they had, finding out that he had like some new abilities, super speed, super strength. Now Deku has the same cannon strength that he has with 110% of One for All, like how he fought Overhaul with. Now Deku, you know, not everybody in UA knows just yet if Deku's back or not. Now, Deku goes to UA the next day, like the day of the sports festival, walking in there and walking in class. Ochaku is talking to Bakugo, looks over and says, and looks at Deku. Now, Deku looks a lot more hotter because, blue hair and bright blue eyes. And Deku's a lot more taller, and he's super jacked. Like, not, like, jacked like he was originally, but, taller and more, muscular. Ochaku looks at Deku and says, Hey, and Deku, pretty much just sidesteps her and says, get the hell away from me, you whore. Pretty much everybody goes like, whoa. And Kirishima says, that's what you get. And pretty much everybody after that, they just get ready, get in their sports outfits, and they get in the waiting room. Deku gets approached by Ochaku, and Deku says, get the hell away from me, you brunette. You brunette, and about to say, the whole word. But Todoroki walks in there and says to Deku that, I'm gonna win, blah, blah, blah. Deku pretty much straight up smacks Todoroki and says, shut up and leave me alone. Todoroki is kind of pissed, like making an ice crystal in his hand. But they get told in by midnight to, come out and get ready for their first obstacle. They get ready and they get told they're doing an obstacle race. They get ready and Todoroki off the bat uses ice to stop everybody. But Deku uses super strength easily to break through the ice, speeding towards, past Todoroki, past the robots, all the way to, the end. Pretty much just beating it in instantly. Everybody's, confused because they just saw green. They just saw, a blue flash of light pass them, and then they just heard, Deku got first place. Everybody, including Bakugo and Todoroki and Ochaku, were like freaking exactly like starstruck. Everybody was starstruck. They were confused and weirded out that Deku could do this. Now All Might did tell them that Deku was a little bit different, but they didn't know Deku had new powers and all that stuff. Now Deku could still pass on his new abilities as One for All. So Deku wasn't, wasn't suspicious or sus, if you ask me. So Deku pretty much gets ready, and everybody gets ready for the next obstacle. They get told they're doing horse, and Deku pretty much just, plays alone. Deku's using his black whip chain or ropes around, pretty much attaching into the air, using them as tentacles to fly himself up into the air. No, they didn't count this as, Deku touching the ground because it was his quirk touching the ground, levitating him up into the ground. Levitating him up into the sky. Deku was, running around with, like, these tentacles out of his back, like, pretty much Dr. Octopus type of thing. Running left and right, jumping on the walls of the dome, left and right. Deku eventually made a couple other black whips, keeping the other horse users at a good amount of distance. Now, Deku's been doing this for about a good hour, until Bakugo and Todoroki come full force towards Deku. Deku dodges both of them using his black whips while he's in the air, to, strangle Bakugo and knock everybody on Todoroki's horse off, making them fall. Deku's strangling out Bakugo in the air while using one of his other hands to do that flick thing he does, pushing him up into the air like, pretty much Iron, like Iron Man uses park pulse reactor, but Deku's like flicking his hand left and right, over and over and over again, making that wind pressure push himself up into the air, keeping him in there for a steady amount of time. Bakugo's, face is turning bright purple, just, going crazy. Bakugo's about to faint, but they get told, the time's up, and they get told, back off. So, everybody goes in the waiting room. Deku's walking in the hallway and gets stopped by, whatchamacallit. Guys, I forgot to say this, Denki pretty much stops Deku in the hallway and says, "So, dude, what happened?" Deku says, "What do you mean?" He says, and after that, but before Denki can, finish, out of nowhere, Kirishima gets out of one of the rooms and say, "Yeah, Deku, like, what happened to your powers? Your quirk, like, it became really strong." Deku says, "Something happened to me, and it made me pretty good." So, the reason why I said earlier Deku was immortal, he is literally immortal. He can still be killed, but Deku is immortal in a way that he can't age, or Deku can't die of old age. Meaning that was a part of the curse. Deku can't, grow old and die with his loved ones, and pretty much, Deku would outlive any child that he had, unless Deku kills himself, or someone else kills him for him. Now, eventually Deku will become, fully immortal, and Deku cannot be killed by anything. But for now, Deku is able to be killed, but not, that easily. So, pretty much, Deku, being Deku, tells him that I'm good, and pretty much says him, leave me alone. So, they leave Deku alone, obviously, because they ain't jackasses, and pretty much Deku sprints back to the waiting room. Everybody's okay, and they get told by, midnight they're in the pretty much waiting room, and they get told by midnight that they're doing 1v1s. Everybody gets ready, and Deku is pumped. Deku gets ready, and they walk into, the arena. Now, Deku goes up against Shinso. Deku automatically wins, just, hitting him with, 100% of his super strength, using his wind pressure to push him out of the ring without even talking to him. Not wasting no time. So everybody else goes up. Deku actually does go up against Ochaku before he goes up against Todoroki. Now, Deku takes pleasure in this. Ochaku, goes for a hit with Deku, and Deku dodges it easily, grabs Ochaku's arm, and chucks her out of the ring with so much force, making her fly across the ring all the way up to one of the walls of the dome, breaking one of the bones in her back, pretty much almost paralyzing Ochaku, making Ochaku sit out for the rest of the game. Me and Bakugo didn't fight Ochaku. Bakugo fought Jiro, but Bakugo's, still won. So after that, Deku gets ready for, Deku and Todoroki's fight. So they get ready, and Todoroki does like a super huge Nova effect of ice towards Deku because Todoroki's kind of pissed at Deku. Deku dodges it easily and uses, all of his strength to, flick away all of the ice, flicking Todoroki out of the ring at the same time, winning easily. Everybody in the ring is freaking losing it, saying, "How the hell is he this strong?" And Deku's already getting a crap ton of hero emissions. Like, everybody wants him. Everybody wants him. Even Sir Night Eye Everybody wants Deku. Literally, Deku is so strong. Deku pretty much has God tier strength. Deku sprints over to the end of the ring, pretty much putting his hands up, saying, are you satisfied?" Pretty much doing the whole entire Olympic thing. So for the next match, Deku gets ready, and Deku gets stopped by Ochaku, saying, getting stopped by Ochaku, and Chaco says, "Why did you hit me that hard?" Deku says, "Are you freaking kidding me? You cheated on me. Like, we'll never be friends, and I'll always hate you. If I have a chance to, I will kill you." Pretty much passing by Ochaku, bumping her into the shoulder, saying the B word in her ear, walking off. Deku walks into the arena with Bakugo, being, really pissed off. Because last time, he just won in the fight really quickly with Todoroki, but for now, Deku just wants to beat the shit out of Bakugo. Bakugo goes for one explosion, and Deku just standing there, and Deku instantly, freaking teleport dodges it, grabbing Bakugo by the hair, throwing him into the ground, getting on top of him, and pretty much beating the holy shit out of him for about 30 minutes straight. Like, heroes have to jump in trying to stop Deku. Cement Head used a couple concrete bars to try to push Deku off of him, but Deku easily just smacked those concrete bars away, while his other hand was, kneeing and punching and pretty much, flicking and pretty much just doing so much stuff towards Bakugo. Pretty much beating the holy shit out of Bakugo. Bakugo's like a bloody mess. Like, he at least lost about 2 gallons of blood already. Like, Bakugo is near his deathbed right now. Eventually, Miss Midnight had to jump in and sleep Deku. Deku easily, jumped out of her mist way, jumping on top of her, about to, beat the shit out of her. But Deku instantly, gets knocked out because, well, he was right on top of the source of the sleeping gas. So yeah, Bakugo, was rushed to the hospital because, he got real hurt. And Deku was crowned MVP. Some of the people that wanted him did, turn on the offer because they didn't want, some sort of kid, that had emotions take the better of him. Pretty much, still, Deku had a lot of internships. Deku had an internship for, pretty much Sir Night Eye, had an internship from Endeavor, and also had an internship from, I think it would be an internship called the women. Pretty much is an internship of pro hero females or pro heroes that that are small, but they're really good heroes. Like, they're like Hulks is a part of that, and Mirko, Mount Lady. Pretty much they're part of the whole women's heroes. But yeah, Deku pretty much gets all these 3 categories because this blah blah blah. So the next day they go to school. They go back to school, and Bakugo's like in a bunch of bandages, not in casts, because Deku didn't break any bones, but he did break some tissue, did make huge dents of his fist into Bakugo's chest. Bakugo got a few broken bones. Bakugo actually had to get his ribs replaced with a steel plating to keep them together. Bakugo, had his bandages all around his body. And also Bakugo's leg was actually broken. That was the only part of Bakugo's body that was, snapped or fractured. So he had to wear a cast over his left leg. So they're in the room, and pretty much they get asked, what are their pro hero names are going to be. Now, Deku doesn't choose Deku. Deku chooses, I'm going to leave it off here, guys. Sorry for a cliffhanger, but yeah, I'm going to choose it off here. I'm going to end it off here, guys. See you guys later. Have a blessed day. And go in the comments, guys. Ask me which what if, or what's the next part of what if that you want me to make, or what other what if that you guys want me to, upload. So see you guys later. Bye. Have a blessed day. See you guys later.